Hello students, welcome to Akad Shala.
Today we are going to start our cube series, that is revise, retrieve, recall series, where we will solve and practice CBSE board based questions with tips and tricks in a very easy manner. So let's start with the very first chapter of science, class 10, chemical reactions and equations.
But before starting today's session, it would be great if you like this video, share this video and subscribe to our channel Akad Shala. This gives us a lot of motivation to keep creating these kind of videos for you all.
The first question says, what happens when food materials containing fats and oils are left for a long time? List two observable changes and suggest three ways by which this phenomena can be prevented. Now, students, we know that rancidity word, the taste or smell of food material containing fat or oil changes when it is left exposed to air for a long time, which is known as rancidity. So, fats and oils of food material oxidizes. Now, in the question, it says list two observable changes. So, that means there is a change in taste and there is a change in smell also. Now, the last part of the question says suggest three ways by which this phenomena can be prevented. So, there are, three suggested preventions, that is, antioxidants, airtight containers, or we can flush nitrogen gas in the bags of chips. So these three are the phenomena, that is the prevention which we can take place. Clear, children? Now the next question says 2 gram of silver chloride is taken in a china dish and the china dish is placed in sunlight for some time. What will be your observation in this case? Write the chemical reaction involved in the form of a balanced chemical equation. Identify the type of chemical reaction. Now, students, we know that if we take silver chloride and we keep this silver chloride in sunlight, so it decomposes into silver metal as well as chlorine gas is evolved. Right, children? And then we will write down the chemical reaction as shown on the board. That is AgCl gives you, that is Ag plus Cl2. And then we balance the chemical equation. And after decomposition, what happens? Silver chloride changes to silver and its color changes to gray. So you need to know the color of also silver after this decomposition reaction. It is mostly asked, children, the colors and all that. So you should know even the colors. Very, very important. And now they have asked you the chemical reaction involved in the form of balanced chemical equation that we have done. Identify the type of chemical reaction. Of course, now as the word says, it decomposes. That means it breaks, which is known as decomposition reaction. Other name for decomposition reaction also you can write as photolytic decomposition or photolysis. So all three are same and you can get marks even if you write 1 out of 3. Now the next third question says, that is, classify the following reactions into different types of reactions. Now there are 4 reactions given on the board in the question. You need to write that means the reactions involved in this. That is, the first one is AgNO3 plus NaCl gives you AgCl plus NaNO3. So that means over here the two compounds are there and the exchange of ions will take place. When the exchange of ions takes place, that means it is a double displacement reaction. Now the second one is CaO plus H2O gives you CaOH whole twice. That is the two, the reactants are reacting, that is they are combining. So it is known as combination reaction. As the definition suggests, when the two things combine, it is known as combination reaction and two of the reactants react and one product is formed. The third one is KClO3 gives you KCl plus O2. Now over here, the reactant is 1 and it is decomposing. That means it is breaking down. So it is known as decomposition reaction. The last one is Zn plus CuSO4 gives you ZnSO4 plus copper. So that means they are also, that is what, one is metal and one is compound. So displacement reaction is taking place. The next question says, during a science exhibition, Aryan and his friends set up an experiment to demonstrate the properties of metals. They took a shiny piece of metal M and held it carefully with tongs over a Bunsen burner. As the metal got heated up, it started to burn with a dazzling white flame. Children, quote the words, that is dazzling white flame. So from here, the hidden hint is given in the question itself. Now, after this, catching the attention of everyone around, after the flame doused, they noticed a fine white powder N left on the watch glass beneath the burner. The group wondered what had caused the transformation. Their teacher challenged them to explain the process and its scientific basis. Answer the following questions based on Aryan's experiment. A part, that is, identify the shiny metal M and white powder N formed during the reaction. B part, balance the chemical equation. C part, did the shiny metal M undergo oxidation or reduction during the reaction? Support your answer with reasoning. Okay. Now, children, in this question, if you see, the hidden hint is always given in these type of questions. Over here, it is written dazzling white flame. And we have studied why dazzling flame is of, that is magnesium. So that means we have to write this equation, that is Mg plus O2 gives you MgO. So this is known as reactant and this is known as product. So over here, after writing, that is when magnesium ribbon burns in air, that means magnesium oxide is formed. And magnesium ribbon burns with a white dazzling flame. That is what it is written in the question. Now, after this, the first part of this question says, identify the shiny metal M. So this is M, that is M will be magnesium. And what is N? N is, that is MgO over here. Right, children? Now, after this, they have asked, balance the chemical equation, the second part. That means we have balanced the equation also. Right, children? And after this, they have asked, did the shiny metal M undergo oxidation or reduction during the reaction? Support your answer with reasoning. So, of course, the shiny metal M, which is known as magnesium, it undergoes oxidation because of the gain of oxygen. As we have seen, this magnesium metal has changed into magnesium oxide. That means there's a gain of oxygen in this. That means, of course, oxidation has taken place because of gain of oxygen. The next question says, you might have noticed that when copper powder is heated in a china dish, the reddish-brown surface of copper powder becomes coated with a black substance. Why has this black substance formed? What is the black substance? Write the chemical equation of the reaction that takes place. How can the black coating on the surface be turned reddish-brown? Now, children, if you see that they are saying that a reddish-brown surface of copper powder becomes coated with black substance. So that means here we have to write down the equation when copper burns in air. That means copper Cu plus O2 gives you CuO. This triangle means heat. Right, children? Now, children, over here we have balanced the chemical equation and you should know the color of copper, which is reddish brown, and copper oxide, which is formed as a product, becomes black in color. Now, what is happening over here, if you see in the reaction, that the oxidation process is going on. Why is it so? Because if you see that copper is gaining oxygen and hence copper oxide is formed in the product. So due to gain of oxygen, oxidation process is going on. So the first A part says, why has this black substance formed? So this is the reason. You can tell that when copper burns in air, copper oxide is formed, and then write down the equation and all. And the B part says, what is this black substance? You will write the black substance is copper oxide. The C part says, write the chemical equation of the reaction that takes place. We have already done, shown over here. The D part says, how can the black coating on the surface be turned reddish brown? This is very, very important, the last part. And they ask you this, the last part, that is the D portion of this question is always asked. So over here, what you will do, if we have seen over here, that oxidation process has taken place in the reaction above. Now we can get the what? That is copper again. How? With the help of the process which is known as reduction. If oxidation is gain of oxygen, so reduction is gain of hydrogen. So what we will do, we will write down the opposite reaction like copper oxide when it reacts with hydrogen, heat, that is, this is the triangle sign shown over here which shows heat, and then we get molecule of water as well as copper. Now copper is there, that means we have copper again, which is reddish brown in color, which they have asked you in the D portion. How can the black coating on the surface be turned reddish brown? So this is the equation shown on the board, which you will write it in this way. That is, the reduction process will go on and then you will get back copper also. The next question says, a student mixes sodium sulfate powder in barium chloride powder. What change would the student observe on mixing the two powders? Justify your answer to how he can obtain the desired change. Okay, in this question, you are seeing over here, they are giving you the self indication only, the self hint only in this question. They have written powder. So the powder word is indicating itself. What? Here we have both powders of, that is, sodium sulfate and barium chloride, which is shown in the question. Now, therefore, powders do not react, children, because reaction occurs in aqueous medium only, which I have taught you. Therefore, no reaction occurs. So that means this question, if the student does not read properly and the powder word does not come in your mind, that is, they do not react with each other, the powders, then only you will be able to do these questions. And the last part of this question says, justify your answer to how he can obtain the desired change. Of course, he has to prepare aqueous solution of both powders, then reaction will take place. So this is the, again, very important question for the boards. You have to keep it in mind, the demand in the question, and please give the stress on each and every word while reading the question. The next question says, to balance the following chemical equation, the values of the coefficients x, y, and z must be respectively. The equation is shown on the board, children, and the four options are given over here, that is A, B, C, D, and they have asked balance the chemical equation. And why do you balance a chemical equation? Okay, two parts are given in this question. Now, if you see this question, there are two methods to solve this. The most important thing which I also think is maximum students will do surely the balancing directly. Yes or no, children? You must be thinking that let us balance it and the answer is there with you. Absolutely correct. I'm not saying it is wrong. But there are two methods of doing this question. First is, as you are thinking, that balance and finish it off. The second method is also there, which is known as shortcut method, which I'm going to do it today with you in the class. That is, now if you are seeing this equation, children, you are seeing that nitrogen over here, that means it is 2 times of x, right, children? So I'm writing nitrogen is equal to 2x. Over here, if I see NO2, that is N is equal to Z, because the coefficient Z is written over here correctly. So I have written it. Now after this, what we will do, that therefore 2x is equal to Z. We can write it. That means the Z should be 2 times of x. This thing we have to find out in these four options. What I'm saying, please listen to me very carefully. This Z should be 2 times of x. Now over here, the four options are given in the question, and this is x and this is z. Now please choose any one appropriate option out of 4 which suits the question. What they are demanding? That z should be 2 times of x. Okay. Now let us see over here z. That z is the first part. Is it this 2 times of x? Yes or no? No, not at all. It should be 2 times of x. Not at all. Is this is 2 times of x? No, not at all. Is this z is 2 times of x? Yes. 2 into 2, 4. It is coming out over here. And is it the last one? Of course not. So the most appropriate answer is C. Am I clear or not, children? So the option C is the correct option which we have solved it just now. Now the last part, the second part says, why do you balance a chemical equation? We balance the chemical equation so that the mass of the reactant is equal to the mass of the product. So which law it is? That is law of conservation of mass, which is valid over here. So please take care about this question. Very important. There are 2 methods of solving. Just to save time, children, you can use the shortcut method, but balancing is also not wrong. But both methods you should know. The next question says, Ravi was cleaning up his setup when he found a small box containing old chemicals. Among them was a bottle of ferrous sulfate crystals. Curious about the contents, he decided to heat a small portion of the crystals in a dry container, hoping to see some change. As the heat intensified, he observed something unexpected happening to the crystals. List any 2 observations he will make. What type of chemical reactions are occurring when ferrous sulfate is heated? Write the balanced chemical equation for the reaction and name the products. Now, children, seeing the question, it's very, very big question, but no need to worry at all. The question says that Ravi actually had some chemicals, and what he did, that he took the ferrous sulfate crystals, that is ferrous sulfate crystals, whenever we say, that means along with molecules of water. And how many molecules of water? 7. So here we have written, that is ferrous sulfate FeSO4 dot 7 water. Yes, children, over here it's written. Now, children, what happens, that ferrous sulfate crystals are green in color. You need to know the color. Very, very important. Now we will take ferrous sulfate crystals, that is FeSO4 dot 7 water, and we heat, and we get what? 7, what beta? 7 molecules of water and ferrous sulfate, which is known as amorphous white. Now, why I'm saying amorphous white? Because 7 molecules of water are not there now. That means they are without molecules of water. That is 7 molecules of water. Now, after this, now we see that ferrous sulfate we got and 7 molecules of water. Now, what I will do it, I will take FeSO4, I will continue heating more. And if I continue heating more, I see that I get the products as Fe2O3 and SO2 and SO3. Now, the product Fe2O3, that is ferric oxide, and now I'm getting 2 gases, that is SO2 and SO3. Now, these gases, they have a burning sulfur smell, and Fe2O3 is reddish brown in color. So this you have understood. Now, we should also know that FeSO4.7 water, it was first green in color, then white, and then reddish, that is red-brown color we got. Am I clear, children? So you need to understand all these things, very, very important. After this, burning sulfur, that is smell gas, is also released. That is the burning sulfur smell. That is the gas is having a burning sulfur smell which is released. And the second part, that is list any 2 observations he will make. We have written over here. First, green to white, white to red brown. And the second one, that is burning sulfur, that is smell gases released. After this, the B portion says, what type of chemical reactions are occurring when ferrous sulfate is heated? That is decomposition reaction, but which? That is in the form of heat and which is known as thermal decomposition. The C part says, write the balanced chemical equation for the reaction and name the products. Of course, already we have done it above. The reaction, I have done it. And we know and we have balanced it also. And the name the products, that is Fe2O3, SO2 and SO3 are the products formed. So now let us go to the next question, that is, during a chemistry practical session, Neha and her friends were assigned an experiment. Their teacher provided them with a white crystalline compound in a small test tube and instructed them to heat it gently over a flame using a spirit lamp. As Neha observed, the white compound started decomposing, releasing two different gases. One of the gases had a distinct brown color which spread across the test tube, while the other was colorless and had no noticeable, that is, odor. A solid yellow residue was left behind at the bottom of the test tube after heating. Identify the type of chemical reaction that occurred during the reaction. Write the balanced chemical equation. What is the name of the brown gas that evolved during the reaction? Name the yellow residue left in the test tube and suggest a simple method to test whether it is acidic or basic. Okay, children. Now, in this question, a very big hint is given, and that is a gas is there which is brown in color. And immediately it should strike in our mind that we have studied brown gas, that is nitrogen dioxide, that is NO2. So this is nothing the reaction of lead nitrate. Now what we will do, now they have also written the white color also. That means the white color of this compound, that is lead nitrate. So I have written over here lead nitrate, PbNO3 whole twice, which is white in color. We heat this and we get PbO, that is lead oxide, which is yellow in color. And we also get nitrogen dioxide, which is brown in color. And oxygen gas is also evolved. Am I clear, children? Now, so the A part says identify the type of chemical reaction that occurred during the reaction. So which is, that is identify, that is a thermal decomposition. We will write decomposition reaction, but which type? Because it is in the form of heat. So it is thermal decomposition reaction. Now B part, write the balanced chemical equation. Of course, I've balanced it. It is done. And what is the name of the brown gas that evolved during the reaction? Now over here, you have to take one point in consideration, that they have asked you the name. If you write down the formula NO2, they will not give you marks because they have asked you in the question, that is name of the brown gas. So it's better you write down the name, nitrogen dioxide, as well as what? NO2 also, if you want to write it. First, you see the question, what they have asked, what is the demand in the question. Now the D part says, name the yellow residue left in the test tube. Okay, the yellow residue is PbO, that is lead oxide. Now, the main important question they have asked is, and this is very important question, mark it. And suggest a simple method to test whether it is acidic or basic. Very, very important, children. Okay. Now, lead oxide, which is known as metal oxide. You are seeing it is a metal oxide. And we have also studied metal oxides are basic in nature, but they are also amphoteric in nature. And what is amphoteric? Amphoteric means that is they show both acidic as well as basic property. But if we do the litmus test of this, metal oxide has more, you can say inclination towards basic nature. And if we do the litmus test and if it is more inclined towards basic nature, so red litmus paper will turn blue. So this is what that they have the more inclination towards basic property when we do the litmus test. So if they ask you which type of lead oxide is this, you will say amphoteric in nature. And if they ask whether it is acidic or basic, so you can write all this along with that during the litmus test, they have more inclination towards basic nature. Hence, it will turn red litmus blue. So please quote this D part, most important, that they can ask you in any form. Now let's go to the next question. The question says, in a school lab, a group of students decided to demonstrate the electrolysis of water as a part of their chemistry project. They carefully set up the experiment, filling a beaker with water and placing 2 electrodes into it. To ensure the process was efficient, they added a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to the water. As electric current passes through the water, they observed the formation of gas bubbles at both electrodes. Over time, they observed that one test tube had twice the amount of gas compared to the other. This observation prompted the students to analyze the phenomena in more detail. Based on this experiment, answer the following questions. Identify the gases produced at the anode and cathode during the electrolysis of water. Explain why the volume of gas collected at one of the electrode is twice the volume of the other electrode. C part, what do you think would happen if dilute sulfuric acid was not added to water before the experiment? Okay. Now, there's one trick, children, over here in this question, which I taught you. That is, you must be eating, you must be fond of pav bhaji. Yes. So you leave bhaji and you just remember pav. P-A-O. Now, when you remember pav bhaji and especially pav only, so P stands for positive, A stands for anode, and O stands for oxygen. If you know pav, you know the trick also, and then you can implement in this question also to solve it. Now, if you know positive anode oxygen regarding pav, so it will be opposite for cathode, that is hydrogen gas will be there. Very simple. So it is solved. Now, identify the gases produced at the anode and cathode during the electrolysis of water. It is done with the help of pav bhaji. Done. Okay. Now the next thing they say, explain why the volume of gas collected at the air one of the electrode is twice. Okay. Why is it so that one gas is twice than the other? So what we will do, we will write down the equation, that is electrolysis of water. That is water in the form of liquid, electric current we will pass. It will be changed into the product, that is hydrogen and oxygen. Along that, these are the gases. Now we will balance the equation. After balancing the equation, we see on the product side that we have a ratio 2:1. We know the ratio is 2:1 by volume, but how? This is the reason. So you need to write the equation along with balancing part to prove that why this happened. So this is very, very important. If you do not write the equation, you will not get marks at all. So this is the reason. What do you think would happen if dilute sulfuric acid was not added to water before the experiment? So, pure water, you should know that pure water do not conduct electricity, so no gases will be evolved. So, it is very, very important to add what, children? That is little bit of acid in it. Am I clear? So, now let's go to the next question. The question says, which of the following is a redox reaction but not a combination reaction? And the four options are given. In the first part, we see there are two reactants, one product is formed. So it is a combination reaction. Next one, two reactants, one product, combination reaction. Two reactants, one product, combination reactions. Two reactants, two products, not a combination reaction. So the D part is the correct option. So the next question, okay, last question. In the redox reaction, MnO2 plus 4HCl gives you MnCl2 plus 2 water plus Cl2. Now, out of these four, you need to know in the redox reaction what is happening. Okay, now first of all, you know what is redox reaction? Of course, reduction and oxidation when goes on simultaneously, it is known as redox reaction as shown on the board. And we know that the oxidation is gain of oxygen and reduction is loss of oxygen. And in terms of hydrogen, oxidation is loss of hydrogen and reduction is gain of hydrogen. Now let us go for this. The A part, MnO2 is reduced to MnCl2 and HCl is oxidized to water. First, let us go in the equation. Seeing MnO2 plus 4HCl gives you MnCl2 plus 2 water plus Cl2. If we see MnO2, when it is changed to MnCl2, that means MnO2 is losing what? It is losing oxygen and forming MnCl2. So that means MnO2 is reduced to MnCl2. Now let us see the option, the first part. Okay, A part, MnO2 is reduced to MnCl2. This is correct. Second part, MnO2 is reduced to MnCl2. This is also correct. C part, MnO2 is oxidized. D part, MnO2. Okay, C and D, we have discarded these two options. So we will not consider because the first part says MnO2 is reduced to MnCl2. So C and D part will be not taken into consideration. We discarded and only out of two, that is A and B option, we have to choose one. The first part of the reaction we have done, that is MnO2 is reduced to MnCl2. Now the second part, let's go to it. HCl is changing into Cl2. Okay. So that means from HCl, chlorine is what? Not chlorine. That is hydrogen is lost. Are you getting my point? Hydrogen is lost. So when there is a loss of hydrogen, it is oxidation. So that means HCl is oxidized to Cl2. So now which is the correct option out of two? So A part, no. HCl is oxidized to water, wrong. The second B part, HCl is oxidized to Cl2, correct. Yes. Now B is the correct option in this case. So that's all for today, children. So these are the most important questions from board point of view. Please revise these questions on the daily basis and get 100% marks. God bless you all.